Okay, this is my self-care plan. So an introduction to wellness. Wellness is the overall health, including the 8 pieces that I'll be going through the PowerPoint. Each piece affects the other, so if one area is lacking, it's likely the other areas will be too. Finding a balance between all 8 pieces is going to maximize health and happiness in someone's life. So throughout this PowerPoint, I'm going to go through the 8 pieces and then create a plan for myself on how I can improve them. So up first is emotional. A couple factors that go into emotional health is it's a person's ability to express their emotions, and then it's also how someone copes with stress. So things that I do well, I'm okay at avoiding stress. So just areas that I don't need to be a part of that would cause me stress, I usually just avoid being around them. And then keeping a laid-back attitude and avoiding the dramas. So like I said before, just staying away from friend drama that I don't need to be in, household drama, family drama. Obviously, if it's something that I need to be involved in, I will be, but I don't insert myself into those situations. And then I also have developed safe relationships where I am able to talk if I need to, or just have people to fall back on. The things I need to work on. So expressing emotions is something that I could work on, and I thought that 2 good ways to do this would be through journaling and using positive self-talk. So kind of a method I saw where if I catch myself saying or thinking something negative about myself, is to just flip it and say the exact opposite, so turn it into positive self-talk. And then next was coping with stress. Whenever I do get stressed, I don't really have any methods to cope with it, and I thought doing daily meditation videos, which is what I really like, is the video part of them, and then also breathing exercises. So this next slide, this is a breathing technique that I found that I could do whenever I start to feel stressed. I think the meditation videos would be more of a daily thing, but this is something that could be done right in the moment when I'm feeling stressed. Take 5-10 minutes here and just go through this breathing exercise. And so basically it's you breathe in for a 4 count, and then you hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then you breathe out for 8. And then you can repeat this up to 3 to 7 times, or however long it takes to feel calm. But I thought that this would be a good technique that I can try out when I am feeling stressed. Next is physical. So the components that go into physical wellness would be nutrition, exercise, other appropriate health cares, taking care of all areas of your health, your teeth, your eyes, all that stuff. And obviously physical body health. So the things that I do well is I have a pretty consistent workout schedule that I follow, and then when I am, so I kind of go back and forth where I'll be consistent for a while and then I'll fall off for a week or 2, and that's something over here to work on, is just the less cheat days and skip days. I think setting SMART goals would be a good starter for me and something that I need to start doing so that I am working towards something instead of just going through the motions of working out, doing meal preps, eating healthy. I need to have set goals that I'm trying to reach to keep me consistent and on that path and not going through all those cheat days, skip days. And then reading food labels. I know how to read them obviously, but I don't always do that when I'm in the store, which would be beneficial for me. So these are just some examples of health goals that I found that I would like to follow. So obviously drinking water, that is something that I could still work on. Exercising every day, fruits and veggies, all that stuff. And then so basically here I can make my own to add whatever I want, and then each day that I do that thing I check it off, and it's just a good way to kind of keep me in check and see how the week went, how I felt about it, and then change from there what I need to do. Spiritual, so some components of spiritual health would be one's own beliefs, the feeling of having purpose and meaning in life, and then also self-reflection. So things for me to work on, I need to try new things and just find a belief that I am passionate about. Also practice self-reflection through daily meditations. Like I said before, for stress, that meditation could be something that I could try. So now that it's falling in multiple categories, I think it would be a really beneficial thing for me to do. And then also just looking around the community and area to find a group that interests me, and I think that would help me give some more meaning in a different way. So this is kind of what I looked at for the meditation to try. So basically, this kind of walks me through things that I could do, relaxations, your emotions, breathing, kind of like how to focus me in for a short amount of time. So I think that during this, like, I should set a kind of like a prompt in my mind of where I want my thoughts to be. And I think this is just a good time to kind of self-reflect, which is something that I could work on. So just self-reflect on the day, on the week, anything going on in my life, and just kind of try to think of ways maybe to make it better, stuff like that. So I think it's just a good self-reflection time. Next we have social, so the kind of things that go along with social wellness. Good relationships, those could be with your family, your friends, your community, always having people to talk to when you need to, and then also caring about others' needs, wants, like not just thinking about yourself all the time, but thinking of others as well. Things to work on for me. I would say I have strong relationships with family and friends, and I always, if I ever needed somebody, I know I have at least 2 to 3 people that I could go talk to. But what I don't really have is like working relationships in the community. So I thought it would be good to find at least one group in the community where I fit into, where I could create different relationships than the ones I have and just feel like a better sense of connection to the community. So I thought that was one interesting way where I could improve on my social wellness. Next is intellectual wellness. So keeping the brain active, always looking to expand knowledge, and then being able to have intellectual conversations with people. So for this, I know as graduation, I'm about to graduate, and I'm not going to be forced to be in a classroom anymore where I have to learn. So I have to find ways to keep myself intellectually well outside of school. And I know in high school I always used to love reading, and I haven't done it as much since I've been in college. So I think a goal for me is read at least 2 books a month. And I think that this would be a good way to keep myself intellectually well. And then these are just 2 books that I thought I've wanted to read, I just haven't got to it, that I would start with. Occupational wellness, so having a career and or volunteering, good working relationships with coworkers, and then also being able to find a balance between work and leisure time, because if someone's always working, no leisure time, that's gonna make them feel unwell. And then also, on the other hand, if there's too much leisure time and not enough work time, that's gonna cause other areas to fall as well. Things to work on. So I really would like to find areas to volunteer that would follow my career path. I've noticed that I haven't done that enough through college, so I'd like to start now. I was doing some looking, and I know that Hy-Vee and Red Cross both have a lot of volunteer opportunities that would help benefit me in my career. And for a goal, I would like to volunteer at least 2 times a month. It doesn't have to be at these 2 places, but I just noticed that they had a lot of opportunities. Next is environmental health. So having a safe and clean surrounding, being or living in an area that promotes a person's well-being, so not being in a negative space, a cluttered space, whatever would be bad for your well-being. It could be different for everybody, but just trying to avoid those areas, and then doing things that enhance the environment, whether that's recycling, picking up garbage on the road, anything like that. Things that I could work on. So organizing my living space more. I always would like to be more organized, and I thought a good way to do that would be to clean my room every night before bed, the house, whatever I feel like is being cluttered and bothered me, is just try to do that every day, and then it should never get too bad. Spending more time outdoors, so just having that connection with my environment. I think hiking more in the summer is a great idea. Going on nature walks, just finding something to do outside. And then for the last one, using less water and electricity at home. To do that, like shut water off when I'm brushing my teeth, shut the lights off when I'm not in the room. Obviously simple things, but sometimes I don't always do them, so just keeping a reminder to myself. Last is financial. So kind of what goes into that is being comfortable financially, making sure savings and checking accounts are sufficient, and then planning for the future. So if something were to happen, do I have enough in the bank to keep me going? So I think budgeting would be my biggest weakness, just because I don't always know where my money's going. So I think just doing something like this all the time to just kind of make sure I know that I'm not spending my money on things I shouldn't be, and I just always know where it's going, would really help me out. And those are my references. So that was my self-care plan.